As everyone stood up on guard at the sight of the rampaging whites, Craster pulled the whites back with iron chains and separated them into two groups. Witnessing the severed whites still able to move, instantly triggered the deepest fears of every member of House Lannister present. The learned maesters, who had seen much in their lives, were astonished by the unprecedented scene before their eyes as they looked at the severed arm they had picked up. At that moment, Snow took the severed arm and stated that there were only two ways to kill the whites. One was to burn them with fire, and the other was to use ancient dragonglass to stab them in the body. If humanity did not unite to fight against the army of the undead, then everyone present would meet the same fate.
There is only one war that matters. The Great War.
Cersei's allied families watched the scene unfold before them. Upon learning that whites cannot swim and realizing the futility of forming an alliance, Cersei openly declared her intention to withdraw her troops and return to the Iron Islands, urging Daenerys to go back to Dragonstone as well. In this way, the people on the islands would be the only survivors once winter is over. Seeing everyone's fear, Cersei agreed to a temporary truce, but her condition was that Snow must prolong the ceasefire, refrain from attacking House Lannister, and not choose any side in the conflict.
I cannot serve two queens. And I've already pledged myself to Queen Daenerys of House Targaryen.
Then there is nothing left to discuss. The dead will come north first. Enjoy dealing with them. We will deal with whatever is left of you.
As Cersei left the negotiating table after the failed talks, Daenerys expressed gratitude for Snow's loyalty but believed that he should not stubbornly reject the proposal for a ceasefire at this time. According to her, sacrificing her own Viserion would be meaningless in that case. Tyrion, on the side, complained about why they couldn't occasionally lie, even just once, for the greater good.
That is indeed a problem. The more immediate problem is that we're...
Any ideas as to how we might change that state of affairs?
Helplessly, Tyrion had to face Cersei's wrath alone and attempt to persuade her once again.
I've thought about killing you more times than I can count. Do it! Say the word.
Through Tyrion's eloquence and with Cersei also considering her unborn child, she eventually agreed to the ceasefire and pledged to send troops to support the North in the fight against the Whites. But little did everyone know that this woman's plan had only just begun.
And when the Great War is over, perhaps you'll remember I chose to help. With no promises or assurances from any of you. Call our banners. All of them.
No one can shake the demons of power, facing a sample of 100,000 undead soldiers. Although Cersei promised to send troops during the negotiations, she revealed her true plan to her ministers after her brother Jaime had finished negotiating strategies with them. She expressed that she would never join forces with Daenerys and Snow, nor would she trust Tyrion, who killed their father, despite Jaime's desperate attempts to dissuade her. Cersei, determined to keep the Iron Throne, refused to listen.
Burn.
This isn't about noble houses. This is about the living and the dead.
Then I intend to stay amongst the living.
I faced them in the field. We can't beat them. We can't beat their dragons.
How many dragons did you see at the pit?
2.
What happened to the third?
For all we know, it's guarding a fleet.
Having not seen Daenerys' 3 dragons appear together, Cersei guessed that something was wrong with the dragons. Furthermore, she had come to acquire gold through plundering and hired the strongest army in the Narrow Sea, the Golden Company. The defection during the ceasefire negotiations was just a ruse. Upon hearing these plans, Jaime was instantly stunned and felt deeply disappointed in his sister, whom he had once loved, and was completely unaware of the scheme she had plotted behind his back. Jaime expressed his commitment to lead the troops. As a knight, he would definitely honor his promise.
I intend to honor that pledge.
And that would be treason.
Treason?
Disobeying your queen's command, fighting with her enemies, what would you call it?
I'm the only one you have left. Our children are gone. Our father is gone. It's just me and you now.
There's one more yet to come.
Give the order then.
With Jaime's solitary knight's pledge, the Dark Winter officially descended upon the continent of Westeros, the last line of defense for humanity. The Wall, was about to face its first attack in thousands of years. As the army of whites emerged from the trees, the guards on top of the wall sounded the alarm, just as Tormund, overwhelmed by fear, wondered why the army of whites had stopped. The piercing scream of a dragon in the sky startled everyone who looked up. Facing the Night King riding an ice dragon, Tormund could only signal the guards to prioritize their own survival. But after being scorched by the ice dragon's intense flames, the base of the wall began to rapidly crumble. With the destruction of the ancient wall that had stood for millennia, the massive army of death officially approached the human lands, and the Night King's target was only one person, the one with the most threat to his undead army and the ability to perceive all human civilization: Bran Stark, the greatest threat to the army of the undead, a child sitting in a wheelchair, as the second son of House Stark. After his father was betrayed and his family fell apart, Bran started hiding and evading with his servant Hodder and his younger brother Rickon Stark. Accompanying them were their direwolves, Summer and Rickon's direwolf, Shaggy Dog. Bran often had dreams where he saw a mysterious boy with a third eye on his forehead. While passing through an ancient forest, Hodder and Rickon went out to find food, and the handmaiden and Summer sensed danger, but when the handmaiden chased after them to investigate, Bran saw the person emerging from the thick fog, the same mysterious boy he had seen in his dreams.
Not another step, boy. Unless you want to drown in your own blood.
I'm unarmed.
That was poor planning.
My sister carries the weapon. You must be Summer. I'm Jojen Reed.
Jojen Reed, the only son of House Reed, who once pledged loyalty to House Stark. During Jojen Reed's childhood, when he was weak and dying from illness, he was saved by a three-eyed crow with prophetic magic. As a gift, he was granted the ability of the Green Seer, which allowed him to have prophetic dreams. However, he did not possess the ability to warg, which would enable him to freely enter the minds of living beings. Therefore, he couldn't control dreams as freely as the Green Seer, nor could he communicate with the weirwood trees that were scattered throughout Westeros. Because Jojen Reed had seen in his dreams that Bran possessed the warging ability but was trapped, he sought permission from his father and found the fugitive Bran, promising to help him unlock his warging abilities and assist him in fully embracing the role of the ThreeEyed Graven, a prophetic seer. At the same time, Bran also wanted to unravel the mysteries of his own dreams. During an encounter with wildlings, in order to stop the anxious Hodder from shouting, Bran accidentally broke through his limits and entered Hodder's body. Since then, he could also freely enter Summer's body. However, with this greater responsibility for his abilities, Bran decided to complete the transfer of the Three-Eyed Raven and sent Rickon to find the allies of their father's house. Bran, accompanied by Hodder and the Reed siblings, ventured deep into the north, where the weirwood trees were scattered across the continent of Westeros. The weirwood trees were deciduous trees with pale, bone-like bark and deep red leaves resembling blood-stained hands. Many weirwood trunks were carved with faces, which were carved by the children of the forest, the ancient inhabitants of the forests before the arrival of humans. Sometimes, people would dye their eyes red with the leaves of the trees, making it appear as if the tree gods were weeping blood when the leaves fell. Due to Bran's ability to warg, he could perceive the past and present through the roots of the weirwood trees, which had lived for thousands of years and spread throughout the world. However, with Bran's current abilities, he couldn't freely control the memories he entered. Guided by Jojen, who had prophetic abilities as a Green Seer, the group faced arduous challenges as they journeyed north of the Desperate Wall. Despite enduring hunger and cold, they finally arrived at the location of the magical heart tree. However, when everyone prepared to enter the cave at the base of the tree, the sound they made activated the Night King's curse from beneath the ground.
Hold on to me!
Hodor!
Help them!
Hodor!
Hold on!
Hodder became surrounded by whites, and in that moment, Bran activated his warging ability and took control of Hodder's mind. With Bran's control, Hodder, who already possessed Giant's blood, went into a berserk mode.
Save yourself! Now!
Chojin, who had known about his imminent fate due to his brief prophetic abilities, accepted his sister's request to end his suffering. As the scattered skeletal soldiers lay on the ground, a young girl explained that the magical seal of the Green Seer's power caused the White's magic to fail in that location. Guided through a long passage, Bran finally encountered the Three-Eyed Graven, also known as the Last Green Seer, who possessed the ability to traverse the realm of memories and had lived within the roots of the weirwood tree for centuries.
He led us to you, and now
He knew what would happen. From the moment he left, he knew, and he went anyway.
How do you know?
I've been watching you. All of you. All of your lives. With 1,000 eyes and one.
Through training and guidance from the Three-Eyed Graven, Bran was able to use the memories stored within the ancient weirwood to travel back to the childhood of his father and even witness his Aunt Lyanna Stark, whom he had only seen in statues.
Willis, come here.
Bonjour.
Benji always lifts his chin when he's about to charge.
And lowers it when he's going to dodge my lady. Bonjour talks.
The little lords, Willis. Come along now. It's no place for you. Oh, Nan, look at the size of him.
As Hodder from his childhood departed and the Three-Eyed Graven pulled Bran back to reality, he advised Bran to learn patience in controlling time, warning him that he could drown in the depths of temporal memories.
I wasn't drowning. I was home.
During Bran's second journey into the realm of memories, he discovered the true identity of the Night King. The children of the forest, possessing supernatural powers and adept at magic, had inhabited the land long before the arrival of humans. As wars broke out with the arrival of humans, they began burning weirwood trees and destroying the forests. With dwindling numbers, they resorted to capturing humans and plunging dragon glass infused with magic into their hearts, intending to transform them into their own kind.
It was you.
In response to Bran's questioning through the realm of memories, the children of the forest explained that they created the Night King and his icy magic as a means to defend against human plundering. However, as the Night King gradually lost control, driven by the desire for power, he planned to wage war and seize control of the world. This led to the creation of an immensely powerful army of the undead. Bran's curiosity was piqued, as he sought to uncover the Night King's weaknesses, while the Three-Eyed Graven slept. Driven by curiosity, Bran, whose powers were still limited, ventured into the realm of time and memories on his own. This time, he found himself in the early stages of the formation of the Army of the Dead. Seeing the tightly packed but motionless troops, Bran realized that his presence in the realm of time and memories was akin to being invisible. However, as he prepared to approach the Night King for a closer observation, he discovered that there were others who possessed abilities beyond his own, including the Night King and the Green Seers created by the children of the forest.
He saw me! The Night King! He saw me!
He touched you.
They too had the power to enter the realm of time and memories. Bran also learned that during the Night King's siege on Snow's team, the Night King knew that Daenerys had been notified, so he waited motionless for the arrival of the three dragons, which would come to their rescue. This revelation left a mark on Bran in the realm of memories, exposing the Three-Eyed Raven's location, which allowed the Night King to find them when he pursued the mark. With the Night King closing in, the Three-Eyed Raven could only guide Bran one last time. Bran entered the realm of space without the need to touch any object and became the true Last Green Seer, possessing the memories of the world. Meanwhile, the Night King had surrounded the Heart Tree with his army of the dead. The true king does not need to speak, as power is the best representation. With the Night King's infusion of ice magic, the cave where the Heart Tree was exposed to the cold air instantly shattered. The magical shield created by the children of the forest also dissipated, and the early infused flame weapons had limited effect. The children of the forest could only ignite the defensive line around the entrance, but it was no match for the Night King's ice magic. The undead army, lacking the ability to control fire, bypassed the flames and entered through the cracks at the bottom. Meanwhile, Bran was undergoing the final guidance in the realm of memories, which required him to let go of personal emotions. Only when he became internally strong and free from attachments could he freely choose when to enter and exit the realm of memories.
You have to wake up! We need Hodor!
Hodor!
Bran, we need Hodor!
As the army of whites poured in through the cracks, Bran could also hear Mira's cries from the real world, with Hodor being the only one capable of carrying Bran, but deeply consumed by fear.
Walk into Hodor now! Now!
Listen to your friend, Brandon.
Hodor!
The direwolf Summer, who never retreated, charged at the whites, giving his life meaning until the end. Although they managed to delay the army for a brief moment, the remaining rampaging whites relentlessly pursued them. By now, the Night King had reached the center of the cave and found the Three-Eyed Graven, who could predict his every move.
Leave me.
As the children of the forest made their final stand, the passage became even more frenzied with the invading whites. Hodor used all his strength to break open the gate and dragged Bran out, handing him over to Mira. Hodor then turned back to face the rampaging whites, using his body to hold them off.
Hold the door!
In that moment, the young Hodor, influenced by the two different time portals, witnessed Bran breaking through his abilities and saw the adult Hodor's consciousness branching off. With a familiar gaze and the echoing cry of "hold the door" from the portal, the consciousness of the young Hodor merged with the body of the adult Hodor. Bran also remembered the Three-Eyed Graven's teachings. While they could influence the past, their influence could not change what was already destined in history.
Oh my God! What's this? Hold the door!
Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door!